Good morning. It is Thursday, May, and we are live. Michelle, nice to see you. Chris, how are you? Natalie? We're going to get Jim on as well. Very excited. We have some very special guests this morning. We're going to be welcoming on Jim McCarten from the McCarten Group and Natalie Miniard, who is our amazing New Jersey broker of record and just generally broker extraordinaire with a lot of experience. Very, very excited. And Jim, I believe, is joining now, so we should be getting him on board. Hope that everybody is recovered from their Cinco de Mayo celebrations. Jim, great to see you.
Good morning.
Good morning. So we're going to get started here in just a second. Give people another second or two to join. How's everybody doing today?
Wow, lots of love.
Absolutely.
Lots of love. Very, very, very exciting. So for everybody who's just joining, today we are joined by two very special guests. So Natalie and Jim, I'll let you give a very quick introduction to each of you. Jim, you've been working in real estate in New York or New Jersey rather, for many, many years, and have joined Tripleman about 6 months ago, a year ago?
August 1st of 2020.
Amazing. And Natalie's been with us for just about a year at this point. So we're very lucky to have them both super experienced on our team. And today will be all about that sixth borough, New Jersey. So we're going to talk first on the agenda a little bit about local news, then go through a market update, and finally talk a little bit about what is happening in New Jersey this week. So Jim, I believe that you have some news for us.
As far as?
Yeah, so in terms of in the market and what we're seeing,
yes.
Recently we've discovered that Citibikes have arrived in Hoboken.
Absolutely. I have to tell you, it's actually changed the game for some of us, because with the parking situation in Hoboken and the nice weather coming, it's very kind of fun to go with a client, meet them at the ferry or meet them at the path, jump on a Citibike, especially on a nice day. I know Natalie in Jersey City, they're doing it too, and actually take your clients through the town. It gives them a chance to see everything. And it actually gives them, like when you're playing golf and you're walking up to the hole, you could see exactly the way you want to shape your shot. It's the same thing in real estate. As you're getting to the location, they can see what local pubs they could pass, what local eateries they could pass, laundromats, and we're having a lot of fun with that.
I love that analogy. So you're doing bike tours for your apartment tours.
It's a lot of fun. Being 64 years old and riding a bike in Hoboken is a blend.
That's amazing.
That's brave at any age, but it's exciting. Jersey City's had them for a little bit, so it's finally great to have Hoboken and Jersey City, and also obviously Manhattan, all on the same bike share program. It obviously makes it a lot more convenient for all the residents there.
So who do you think is going to be the first person to ride their city bike from Hoboken to Jersey City into Manhattan?
Jim.
I think I'll leave that to someone a little younger, but I'm up for it. I mean, if a client wants to do that, I'm totally there. But it's definitely going to make things a lot more fun. We talk about it in our company, mantra is we got to have fun with real estate. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, Uber was a game changer. And, I think a lot of us have noticed that the Uber prices have gone up and it's harder to get an Uber right now. So if you can jump on a bike and get somewhere, Hoboken's a mile square town. So if the weather's decent and you want to hop on a bike, you're probably going to get there faster than if you're waiting on a car, and obviously a lot less expensive. So I think it's a great option.
And makes it easier that they're all connected, so that if you have a Citibike membership in New York City, you can also just hop on the ferry or the path and pick up the same bike in Hoboken or Jersey City.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Natalie, I believe you had something else that you wanted to go through.
Yeah, really excited. NJ.com published home price index map, and it basically shows how Hudson County, the different neighborhoods, towns have appreciated from 2010 to 2020. I think it's really valuable information as people are deciding, certainly right now with interest rates, whether it's a smart time to buy. I think as real estate professionals, we always say it's a good time to buy, but we also usually advise our clients, on their timing. Are you planning on staying, 2 to 5 years? Then we got to talk. But 7 to 10 years is usually a pretty safe investment, certainly has been over the years in Hudson County, and being able to actually see those numbers black and white. Shout out to NJ.com for doing that for us. It's really, really interesting information that I'm sure we're going to dive into.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've always heard the rule of thumb is that you have to stay in the place 5 years to really make it worth it, given some of the transaction costs of buying. What are some of the takeaways? What does this tell us?
Go ahead, Nat.
Well, I was just going to, in Jersey City specifically, the different neighborhoods. So in the zip code 07305, which is on the western side of Jersey City, they saw about a 50% increase in home prices. In 07304, which is Bergen Lafayette, and some other areas in that area, we saw a 78% increase over the last 10 years. What is pretty exciting is downtown Jersey City, where we saw a lot of growth, has almost seen 100% increase in the last 10 years, which is amazing. And a very similar adjustment in the Journal Square, just under 90%. And the Heights also almost 100% increase if you purchase. Obviously it's case by case what you bought, but in the overall number, we're seeing some really good numbers. Jim, if you want to take it from there.
Yeah, I'm going to take that to another level. And if we look at the numbers in Hoboken that NJ.com published and Jersey City, we're in 60s and 70s and 80% increases. What we're seeing too, West New York and Union City are 68%, West New York 69% increase in Union City, which is telling us that people that are coming to the Jersey City, Hoboken area because of pricing, the increases are coming up. The density in New York is causing still people from the 5 boroughs to come on over. And because of the lack of inventory, we're expanding our searches into Union City and West New York. And it's actually showing with 68 and 70% increases consecutively.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a chance to take a look at the map for a minute. And one of the things I noticed is that the increase, so it sort of colored things red if the increase was higher, I believe, than 20%, and the entire Jersey Shore from the top of the city all the way down to Cape May was bright red, meaning that there were really high increases in the last 10 years, all except one city, which was, of course, my hometown of Atlantic City, which just decreased, but I think it's coming back. So given the unbelievable price increases, I mean, almost doubling in some areas over the last 10 years, what do you think that means for people who are looking now? Do I look at that and do I say, oh, I'm scared, I'm buying at the top of the market? Or do I look at it and say, well, it doubled in the last 10 years, it could triple in the next 10 years?
I think it shows opportunity. I think these increases outside of, when we talk Hudson County, everybody refers to Hudson County as Hoboken, Jersey City, typically. Hudson County is expanding by the month. It used to be maybe by a year and a half. By the month, it's expanding. So I think it's opportunity for those that are still interested in, for example, we talked about yesterday on a call about multifamily. We have with 5 and 6 years of employment in Manhattan that are, in a tax bracket and in an income bracket that affords the opportunity for them to invest in a multifamily, owner occupy. We're seeing increases in that, over 50% of interest in that. And it is all people working for 5 or 6 years with an employment record. And the word that comes up is this is a great opportunity. With rates where they are right now, they're able to live in the building, have a tenant, and have most of their mortgage paid for by the rental property.
So I feel like that's every person's dream, right? To be able to live in a home where you have someone else who's paying part of your mortgage. Can you sort of break that down a little bit more for me? Maybe give me some numbers around what that looks like. So
typically on a purchase, I just put one under contract, $875,000 2-family, which used to be $720,000, $700,000 about a year ago. The rents have gone up probably around 18 to 22%. So that brings that mortgage payment, or actually brings the rental up so much that it covers the mortgage payment, that people are buying between earlier this year at 2.78%, and now at 3.25%, they're able to actually cover their entire mortgage payment outside of the taxes.
Unbelievable. So basically you have someone else who's paying the interest on, and rates are unbelievably low right now. So probably a historic opportunity to do this.
And
so the renter pays basically the mortgage, and you're paying the taxes. And that's unbelievable.
it affords them the opportunity to spend more, purchase prices higher as well, because their monthly payment is being covered with the rates so low. It's an opportunity. And now in Union City, they're also have a tax abatement that they just came with this year for 5 years, and it's a graduated tax abatement, which, you know, if you're an owner occupier, it is a huge advantage.
Yeah. And I see Carson, who seems to be all about house hacking, and it's probably worth doing another segment on this another day, because I think people are really interested by that. Natalie?
I would say that it's what I'm seeing, you know, doing this for 18 years. When I first got into the business, even in Hoboken, people would call, and if they didn't really know the area, they would, you know, specifically want to be, these are the only blocks that we want to be on. In Jersey City, these are the only neighborhoods we want to be in, as they were looking. And to me, what this says is that people are way more open to checking out other parts of Hudson County. I also think that a lot of this has to do with the infrastructure that's been built over the last 10 years. I mean, it's nothing but construction along the waterfront. And it's not just condos, it's not just housing and residential, it's also restaurants and shopping and, you know, schools and medical offices and all the things that make it nice to live in these areas, and all new. So it's a really nice place for people to live, and they're more open to other parts of Hudson County. And we're seeing that in the numbers. To Jim's point, you know, Union City has gone up by almost 70% in the last 10 years.
And you think a lot of that is the overflow from the traditional areas of Jersey City, Hoboken, where in the past that may have been the only place someone's looking?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, and I think that people, you know, if they're coming from elsewhere, they're a lot more open to trusting the realtor to say, hey, you know what? You're going to get a little bit better bang for your buck over here, or for what you really want, you can get that in your price point if you go a mile up the road, or you go over to this town instead of the town right here. And I think that there's a lot of opportunities along the waterfront here for people, almost anything that they're looking for, in a very wide range of price points.
So it's interesting because we're talking a little bit about how, you know, Jersey City and Hoboken have had this unbelievable increase in price over the last 10 years. And we think that some of that is now spilling out into the areas beyond Jersey City and Hoboken, but still in Hudson County and very close to the city. What does the housing stock look like there? Are we talking similar condos and bigger buildings, or is it more of, you know, are there more opportunities for the house hacking that Jim's clients are working on?
In the Union City, West New York, and Jersey City Heights, particularly, which is up behind Hoboken, up in the Palisades, and behind Jersey City, over the last 10 years in Jersey City Heights, but now in Union City, West New York, we're seeing a lot of people buying and flipping and redoing the homes to a point where it looks very much similar to the product that we're seeing in downtown, but it's up in the Heights and it's up in Union City. So the design is the same. So people are, like Natalie said, they're expanding their search because the rental prices, even though COVID has come and is hopefully going soon, it's going to cause rents to go higher because of people working from home. And
Sure.
especially if they're in a new product. So I think that the new product and the working from home, like even on a hybrid, 2 days a week, 3 days a week, it's causing that expansion of territory at search. I don't know, but Natalie.
I would say what I'm interested to watch is, I don't think that the inventory is here for the demand that is coming even going forward. So much of what has been built over the last 10 years are big high-rise rental buildings. Certainly in Jersey City, a lot of Toll Brothers has done a lot in the northern part of Hoboken, but I don't think they've done enough. And so I think that a lot of what has been built, because it's rental, those people are going to say, hey, I want to get in on this market. You know, they're obviously making good money. You know, they're in these beautiful big high-rise rental buildings. They're spending a lot on rent. Why not buy? There's not a lot of new development for ownership. It's mostly rentals. So it'll be interesting to see. In the areas that Jim mentioned, the Heights, Union City, most of those are still smaller buildings. We're not seeing the big towers going up there. So I think we're still going to start seeing even less and less inventory as the demand continues to shoot up. And I think something that I think is actually really important, Jersey City, I thought this number was pretty interesting. April 2020 last year, the median price point in Jersey City was 576,000. In April this year, it's 635. So it's gone up year to year, almost 10% from last year. Now, April last year, we know was like probably the worst year we have seen. What I found interesting is month over month. So from March to April, we saw a 12% increase. So to me, that tells me that anybody that was nervous they're coming in strong. To have a 10% increase in 1 month, I think we're going to keep seeing that happen. And again, I'm not sure that the inventory is going to be there. Depends on what they're looking for, but I think that we're going to have limited inventory in certain property types that people are looking for. Wow,
that's amazing. No, that's great to know. Yeah, I mean, the market clearly is very hot there. Jim, anything you're seeing in the market right now in terms of pricing?
Well, you know what, if I may, I just wanted to add a little bit from before. What I am seeing is because of what Natalie just said, the inventory is not necessarily there for a larger product or an area that people can buy brand new construction. I have appointments today and tomorrow with people coming out of the 5 boroughs that are going out of Hudson County into Bergen County to new construction, which I never really had that as much as I'm seeing now. I have 5 or 6 appointments in the next 10 days or so of people that have said, you know what, we've exhausted our search in Hudson. Let's expand into the suburbs. And that is going to cause another consumption of product in the suburbs in a great way.
As if the suburbs weren't starved for product already.
Right. And to Jim's point, the 2-family is such a sought after product, but what we're seeing is a lot of these developers, they're building the 2 families, but they're condoing them. And so it's the opportunity for 2 families is not as great as the demand, for sure, because they're chopping them into 2 units and selling them as condos.
So
a lot in the Heights.
Does that mean there's a crazy demand for these 2 families?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I read an article last night that in the East Bay, right, by San Francisco, there have been 6 houses since March that have sold for over $1 million over ask price.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable, right? And 20 that have sold for over $800,000 over ask. Are you seeing that today in, maybe not to that same scale, but are you seeing that today with your clients?
I have an example, Maplewood, South Orange, New Jersey. Our client put a $125,000 over on cash, $850 purchase. I got a call from the realtor last Thursday, the listing agent, and it went for $400,000 over list.
Oh wow!
All cash.
And what was list?
$850.
$850. Oh, I mean, that is just unbelievable. So we're talking nearly 50% over ask.
Yeah.
So is it, you know, when we hear these stories, are these brokers that are underpricing, or is the demand just that crazy that people are just willing to pay that much more than what they're potentially worth?
It's the latter. It's people that are just willing to pay more. It's almost like, you know, and I don't know what Natalie agrees with me, but if there's not enough inventory out there, people feel like I have to buy this. And I have to be honest with you. Some clients, I tell them at a certain point, this is insane. This is really not, you know, I mean, I always use this mantra. I tell them what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear. And that's even more powerful right now.
And we go back to the timing of this. You know, if we're looking at the numbers and the appreciation that we've seen over the last 10 years, if someone is buying a home that they plan on being in for a long time, which maybe is a little less in Hudson County, but as you're going out to the bigger houses, that's a realistic thing. They want to raise their families there. They want to be there for a while. To pay a little bit extra or to feel like you're paying a little bit over what market is, but we also all know that market is what people are willing to pay for these homes. Exactly. So, you know, if they are willing to pay a little bit over to get that home that they're going to be in for 10, 15 years, it's not really overpaying. It's getting the home that they want. And you know, with the bidding wars, it's putting them at an advantage over everybody else that doesn't understand that part of it.
Yeah, and for anybody who's got a little bit of context on this, when interest rates used to be 10% plus, looking at interest rates which are now in the twos, things do seem like a pretty good deal, and that extra $100,000 or $200,000 for a monthly basis is really not all that much.
Exactly. Yep.
I agree.
Well, yeah, we're a bit over time now, so I want to wrap up. What's going on around town this week?
Well, it's pretty exciting that we're seeing things open up. The weather's obviously finally getting nicer. We're seeing the farmers markets open up. We're seeing live music events start happening again in the parks and such. I want to give a shout out. If you guys aren't following the HD SID, you should, because they announced great events, farmers markets, Groove on Grove, all about downtown festivals. It's a wonderful thing to be paying attention to, because they promote local businesses and all the events that are going to be coming up. And so many of them are outside, which we're all excited to get into the nice weather, the sun. So pay attention to that. Go to your local farmers market, support your small businesses, and go see some live music.
Amazing. That sounds awesome. And the weather is perfect right now if we're starting to get outside and enjoy some of those things. So thank you so much, Jim and Natalie, for joining us this morning and sharing these nuggets of wisdom. We're looking forward to doing these more in the future, and continuing to talk a little bit more about that crazy market and house hacking too, which is clearly, if looking at the comments, we have a lot of interest in it. It is Thursday, May 6th. Please tune in tonight to the season premiere of $1 Million Listing, featuring the one and only Tyler Whitman. So very excited about that. And tune in daily at 8 a.m. for the Morning Mint. If you have any questions about buying, selling, or renting, you can DM us at Triple Mint Real Estate, or you can speak with Jim or Natalie at their Instagrams. We'll leave them in the comments when we post this. And you can also hop right into our office at 331 Washington Street in downtown Hoboken. We have a beautiful retail space there, and we'll be more than happy to help you. This is Philip Lang signing off for the Morning Mint. We will see you tomorrow.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.